Yo, what's going on, guys? Aspect Game Matt once again in GTNH, and today we're over by the fluid solidifier, which is brand new. I have my universal setup for this now. Basically, same ideas we're doing everywhere else, where we have interfaces sending in patterns into this secondary interface with the smart blocking, and you're distributing recipes across multiple machines in this way. If you're interested in learning how to do this, I have other videos on it, and there's more resources out there to learn this. So we're not going to re-go over it again this time, but basically same ideas as always here. So the main thing we have there that's different than the other ones is the LUV input hatch for big recipes of fluids. That goes up to 512,000 liters, which is pretty good. And yeah, it should be the same as pretty much all the other ones. I have an output bus ME on this. I should give that a sell before I get started. I had to problem solve this because my alloy wire was not transmitting the signal far enough to reach the actual machine controller, which is awesome. So I just put an OR gate, which should extend the signal, basically. I don't think this has any delay in it. If it does, that's annoying, and if it does, I need to consider a way to get rid of that, because you want this to be as quick as possible. But yeah, let's go ahead and finish up this section. So I need to get some more conduits going, because we're going to be transporting the cells back and forth from the drives. If you've seen how this works before, you know what I'm doing. Then we're going to start moving some recipes over. The extruder is done with. We're only using this from now on. This is going to replace the extruder. I've heard it's way faster. I'm excited to find out just how beneficial that it is. And then the main other good thing that it does is my glass. So I'm using thorium yttrium glass right now for my IV glass. That's not ideal, to be honest. So we're going to start using these glass recipes. They're just so slow in regular fluid solidifiers, but with using higher amperages and with the parallels, we should be able to get some pretty good rates out of this stuff. So we have the rhodium plated palladium for LUV, iridium for ZPM. That's not that bad either. Osmium for UV. That's not horrible, and we're not there yet for UHV. But yeah, the other ones we could switch to these, like titanium's infinite, tungsten steel's infinite, rhodium plated palladium's easy enough. I do want to upgrade my plat line later today as well. We're going to do some interesting stuff for that, so stay tuned for that one. But there's a few things I got to do before that. This is one of them. The next up is power upgrades. Let's finish up this first. All right, so I'm all done with these now. Now I got to do all my patterns again, which is going to be a bit annoying, but feel good to retire the extruder once I'm done with it. So as you can see, we have a ton of different things. Just a ton of stuff. Plates, rods, rings, nuggets. Just you can see going on. It's both of the gears, rotors, all the pipes, miscellaneous stuff like slime, like the balls. The slime ball just representing it. But yeah, if I go up in here and I type in, what is it called? The unisolidifier. These are all the different ones right now. I still have to expand them and move the patterns over, as you can see, but we're starting to get somewhere with it. And this should be a lot faster. So yeah, now while I'm also doing this, let's work on rhodium plated palladium so I can multitask. I'm a little bit low on it. This should be level maintaining. I don't know why it's not. Let me ask for 2,000. Yeah, that doesn't even put a dent in our dusts. I still do want to upgrade all this, but it's good to know that we can request all that and not have an issue. And then how much of the rhodium glass could I get? If I want 200. Oh, I gotta program this in. Yeah, I didn't tell my fluid extractor to know how to do that yet. So let's teach it that. And there we go. So we'll upgrade our fluid shapers to LUV once that craft is done. Now in the meantime, we're going to go down over here. So I've been working on a upgraded power setup. I know I said I didn't want to just spam more nukes, but we're going to spam some more nukes, basically. These aren't set up yet. I got to still do the whole setup for all these to get the temperature up and then fill them all and incorporate them into the program of the Steve's Factory Manager. The problem is I haven't done that in like a month, so we got to make sure I remember how to do that. Might need a backup or two, you know? We'll see how it goes. I should upgrade my vacuum freezer as well. I'm going to go to 2 vacs at LUV just to be safe with it. And then once we're done with this, we will be going from, what is it like? It's about 50-some amps, 52 amps of IV to 52 amps of LUV, I believe. Let me double check my spreadsheet real quick because I had a calculator over here. It's actually 53 amps of LUV. So yeah, that'll hold us over until we can experiment with either upgraded nuclear fuels or with fusion. So this will be good enough for now. I'm really close to doing the tie-in for the new power system right now, but I want to do this first, the infinite spray can. Let's finish this guy up. So I don't know how to use this thing, but apparently it'll let me dye my cables in a pretty cool way. I don't know if I have to fill it for the first time or what. Hold shift for information. So left click, change color, sneak to reverse, middle click, open color choice GUI. Ooh, okay. Okay, I see what's going on. So I'm shift left clicking and it's changing the color. When I shift right click, it doesn't go backwards though. Let's see. Left click, change color, sneak to reverse direction. Okay, I see. That's okay. That was not what I was expecting, but yeah, so now we should be able to dye our cables in an infinite way. So I got to pick colors for each of the different voltages. What you do notice is that in the tooltips, there are colors for them already. Maybe I'll go with that. Let's see. EV's gray. Yeah, we'll go with that, I guess. Each of them have their own kind of color in there, so we'll go for that. Yeah, I don't want to start crisscrossing cables and blowing things up, which is a pretty high risk at the moment, because I'm going to be doing a pretty interesting setup here to get this to work temporarily. Then we'll upgrade it all in a little bit to make it work together. Because I think the best way to do this is to go bit by bit. But yeah, we're going to be using HSS cables along the main power here. And then these are UHV cables, so any voltage that comes out of here is going to be the voltage in these cables. So this is going to be LUV at the moment. So he's going to read as a LUV cable with like 64 amps. At the moment, these only have 24, but it's okay because I'm going to transform stuff around. But yeah, this is going to be able to hold up to UHV. And we bring, let's say, we go from 64 amps of LUV to 16 of ZPM. So the ZPM comes out of here, and then it's going to go to each of these like transformer spots here, but when it's going to go down to LUV into each area. So that's kind of the idea that I have. And then that'll help me not blow stuff up, because in the future when I want to do my power rewire, all I got to do is bump up the voltage of the transformers on these like forks going out, fix the cables on this end, recolor everything, and then change the mainline dynamo. So that's my idea. We'll see if it works out. It seems to be the general game plan. I think I'm almost ready to take my outage to replace this. The voltage of the dynamos don't, and the energy hatches don't seem to matter based on the glass tier. So what does matter in the glass tier is the capacitor tier. I'm not going to upgrade the capacitors right at the moment, but I do have plans to do that very soon as well. So let's plan out the end of my outage here, and then you have a ludicrous transformer here, and then I'm just using this to try to plan out what I want to do, which is going to ZPM power, and then back down to LUV, 64 amps right here, hitting the 64 amp LUV hatch, and then hopefully we have no explosions. All right, it's time to tie stuff in. Hopefully I have everything that I need. We're gonna delete these. This is the difficult and nerve-wracking part. Did you prepare everything properly? So yes, energy hatch goes here. It's a little bit of a problem that this cable's not ran yet, but we can fix that in a moment. Actually, we're gonna leave that because I need more transformers. So I will fix that after I finish this. Okay, so the HSS cable has to come down here. It's going to be in ZPM, so therefore I need to transform this. So it's coming in ZPM, stepping down to LUV. Okay, makes sense to me. So coming out of here is a ZPM line. Actually, it's not quite ZPM yet. This is the weird exception, because these are going to be outputting the number that the reactor is producing. So because I'm using the HSS cables for these, that's going to be 108,000. It's going to be 12 amps of 108,000 EU, which is a little bit less than a ZPM. So it's okay. It's just like weird, and it'll send them in a efficient way, but it's a weird way. Like I'll still get all the power, but like it'll combine the packets in a way that are interesting, because it's gonna like round it. So like instead of like getting 64 amps, I might get like 40 amps and then 64 amps for a second, you know? That's how it works. And that's why you don't want to power your machines with a weird packet like that. Okay, but anyways, this needs to get transformed to ZPM. So this has to step up. Okay, and then coming out here is going to be ZPM. So this is going to be like barely anything over there, but it's okay. And then if I figured this out correctly, this will go to here. Do we need a transformer for you? Is that the right block? Yes, okay. No, I don't think I need a transformer for this. This should just come together. And then we run along here. And then we'll see if there's an explosion. I have backups made. And then we'll see if the power can turn back on either. So this should be calling for power right now. Are you receiving? Yes, okay, so EU in is still coming in. It is quite a bit higher. What is that? That was weird. Oh, you know what? I know why. Because it filled up the buffer. That's what I expect now. I have 4 reactors running, so you see it's switching back and forth between 2 different packets. Okay, now I gotta bring all of these reactors online. And this should be straightforward enough. I have the transvector interfaces set up already. The redstone control is not set up yet. I need to put the fuel rods into them as well. So let's do that first. And then I can just shift click the fuel rods into all these now because they're all set up properly. I thought I was able to fly in here. Yeah, I am. There's like a really specific angle because the ceiling's the perfect height that I don't take burn damage from the reactors. I actually had to raise the ceiling to accomplish that, if you noticed. I need a lot more fuel rods. Okay, though, we can start up with this many, I think. Oh, you know, my system's back online. I'll just go grab more of them. Okay, these are all online now. The transvector interfaces are all connected properly. You know, I should relog just so I could verify them. You see how this says connected to nothing? If I relog, it should fix that. They're all reading correctly now. So I think they're all set up properly. I feel like I kind of remember there being an issue where you needed to click on a certain block of the nuclear reactor, but I will load the backup if I have to. Okay, now what I do is I go over to my factory manager. What's the smarter thing to do first? Turn the reactors into this container, probably. First off, I should shut this off so that it can't turn on again. So the system's off right now. Yeah, I think these two were separated because they're the ones I have to update whenever I bring new reactors online. So let's bring the reactor connections in. So what you can do here, search for transvectors. And we just connect all these on. I think there's a select all button. Yeah. But I'd rather just make sure that they're doing well. Okay, now these ones, I'm looking for emitters. This first emitter is not the right one. That's a safety emitter. I wish I could rename it. Maybe you can. But that one has a different purpose than these ones, which turn the reactors online. If you're interested in that video, it's a couple videos back where I did the vacuum nuke setup for the first time. Okay. Now it either explodes or we're happy, and who knows what's going to be. So I guess send a dummy signal to this, turn it on. Guess we'll do that. Let me grab a lever. And we're going to see what it does. That one didn't turn on. It turned on for a split second and shut off. Why? I am out of coolant. That would be a good reason why, because these shut off because they don't have power. Wait, where's my coolant? It all like disappeared. I'm so confused. I mean, yeah, if it failed, I would lose one of them, but not like all of them. Okay, let me grab some coolant. Thankfully, I have a lot of these made right now because I planned on making a lot more reactors. Yeah, that's strange. I don't know why it did that. That's kind of telling me something went wrong, to be honest. But we'll find out when I hear an explosion or not. We'll do even more. Did I fill all the reactors? That's the other question. Maybe one reactor got pumped full of coolants. These did tick, so you can see they lost durability, I think. Yeah, something's wrong with this one. Look at this. It's missing a block. What happened? That's bugging out. I might have broke one by accident. I might have broke a piece of the reactor. Yeah, that's really bad. That was some kind of visual bug. That was really weird. I don't like that. Because it went back to normal. I really don't know what went on with that. And that kind of worries me. Everything's fixed now. When this turns on, it's getting like over 1.2 million now, which we have 16 reactors all doing 100K. It should be 16 if it did everything correctly. So next time it happens, I'll have to watch it. I gotta paint my cables still, but I'll do that in a moment. Over here, I noticed some issues with this. I changed all of the cables to be more uniform, so they're all pulling from the top of the right block now. Some of them are pulling from the sides of blocks, and I don't think they were pulling power at all. So be careful with that when you do this yourself. I think that was an issue that I had to resolve. I'm not sure, though. But yeah, once I read all the cabling, it worked just fine. Because yeah, these ones pull from the side and they work okay. I don't know, it wasn't behaving correctly. But now it is. I also accidentally filled one reactor with coolant cells. I knew I did that because I saw them all disappear from the chest over here. And I resolved that issue as well. So you just turn off your safety in the system and then you go and work on it. But yeah, now we have a much larger power buffer to work with. I haven't done the outlet cables yet. We'll do that in just a moment. I need to make a whole bunch more of Naquata, because I need to make some more ludicrous transformers. Because these are the ones that go from ZPM to LUV. I want to go for the big ones, just keep making 64 amps, just so I can future-proof it for a bit, you know? I could go for a smaller tier one, actually. Like one step down, and then when I want to transform them up again, so yeah, what's it called? The high amp transformer. This might not need as much Naquata. Yeah, can I make 10 of these? Yeah, I can. Okay, we'll make those right now. Some areas need more amps than others do, and it's pretty obvious which ones do, like my blast furnaces and my LCRs definitely do, for example. But we can give those ludicrous transformers on their own in just a moment. But yeah, we're just trying to crawl by right now because I want to get to bigger upgrades, and better power is going to get me there. It's just going to take me a minute to sort of go back and forth, upgrading this, upgrade that, upgrade this. You know how it goes. This is the pattern that is of GTNH that we enjoy. I spent some time very carefully building this. I now have an LUV dynamo hatch on here. This guy goes to the ludicrous power transformer, stepping up to ZPM. And then the ZPM is going to hit transformers, mostly LUV high amps or more ludicrouses, probably mostly high amps. And then we go down this new power spine of HSSS. It's partially completed. And as we see here, we have transformers at the breakpoints here. I got to finish this line, paint the cables, and then replace all these, and we're good to go then. And it went pretty much flawlessly. So yeah, if you want to know how to swap out your power, this is the way to do it. And there it is. The rewire is completed. We painted the lines. For the most part, it worked out pretty well. I don't think anything really went wrong this time. I just made 80 backups, and you know how it goes. So we have the cyan line now for the ZPM, and then this like magenta line is for LUV. The other cool thing about having the lines painted and not being black is that over here I've noticed that some of these lines are putting in a lot of work. So this one specifically has like a million things on it. It has all the LCRs on it, and then it even stretches back farther for the are these the presses? No, these are the solidifiers. So yeah, this could probably be broken up a little bit to make things work out nicer. Because yeah, when a big craft's going on, this is like the bulk of the machinery over here. And then yeah, it's all the LCRs. That needs to be separated. So maybe I can even just drag this one right now. Let me do it. Now that I'm thinking about it. Let's break some of these. And then we will tie this in with this line, which has much fewer things on it. Let's grab that. I was going to end the episode, you would have thought. But no, we have one more thing to do. Let me run this back a little bit. And yeah, now, because the cables were colored and not just black against black, you know, I was able to notice a big issue with it. And now we can fix this, spray that. Beautiful. So yeah, I'm kind of going through. I'll spray all the cables up whenever I get to it. For the most part, the main lines being color is good enough. I'm missing some parts like this over here, and I'll just hit them when I see them, you know. And yeah, from there on, we're gonna be painting all of our cables and trying to keep things orderly, which we'll see how long that lasts. But the spray can makes it a lot easier because it has the line mode like you've been seeing me use. I'm able to do the whole line at once by holding shift. The only problem is that because of the spacesuit thing I'm wearing, the nano chest plate, when I hold shift I go down. I think that if I have the gravi chest plate, it doesn't work like that. You have like true creative flight. So that's a reason to go for that, so I could stop being annoying. Speaking of being annoying, I gotta tear this stuff down over here. This needs to be remodeled. But you know, that's for another day. We're gonna keep on moving on. We have the power upgraded now, so I won't power fail the base anymore. And we're gonna keep working towards fusion. So yeah, until next time, guys. Thank you all for watching. I will see you next time. Have a good day.